Hi everyone, welcome back to Positive Rewire. I took a COVID test today. I thought, a rapid test, but I haven't heard anything back just yet. So I'm going to be probably staying home unless the results come in the night, which I doubt. But the thing that made me happy today is my neighbor checks up on me almost every day and offers to go grocery shopping or get anything that we need. She's I don't want to be offensive and say like elderly, but she is older. And she's currently taking care of her husband who had a couple surgeries and he can't really get around that well right now. But I have the best neighbors. Her husband does gardening and they have a really small backyard. So when we first moved into the house that we're in, I was about 10 and I really wanted a garden because their backyard, though small, was really pretty. It had so many flowers and things and my mom said, "Okay, go ask and talk to the neighbor." And so I went and talked to him and he called my mom and she said, "Well, you're going to be doing most of the work, right?" And he's like, "That's okay." So he made a small garden. I helped a tiny bit, mostly just pulling, this stuff out of the ground, harvesting all the veggies and stuff that he planted. And the next year he called before really doing anything and he said, "Can I make it bigger?" So our garden has grown from this little tiny thing to this huge area. We have like a couple of tomato plants in the front yard and this other bed on this side. He's done a lot in addition to his own garden. So they're great. They ended up giving me my first car. They don't have any kids, so I'm kind of like their adopted kid. And they had this car that had just been, I think it was her mom's car, that was just sitting around and they said, "Oh, do you want this car?" And I was like, "I'm not going to turn down a free car." And they're like, "Okay, but we're going to fix it for you first." I was like, "What?" So my first car was a 1999 Ford Escort. I loved it. I'm not a huge fan of big cars, and it lasted me, I think, 3 or 4 years before the mechanic was like, "Yeah, the bottom's rusting out. You're gonna have to get a new car soon." And I begrudgingly searched for a new car. It bothered everyone because I had a car in mind, but I didn't think I would be able to afford it. But my gracious grandmother allowed me to borrow some money, and I ended up with a 2011 Mazda 2, which I absolutely love. My mom first looked at that car and went, "Yeah, that's yours. That's your car, definitely." So I still have it. I bought it in 2014. It's going actually really good. It's got about 97,000 miles, I think. So in the next couple years, it'll be 100,000 miles. But we've been replacing a lot of the parts. Thankfully, my father's a really great mechanic. And we have a few parts to repair. Actually, no. We've repaired a lot of the car and replaced the parts. So pretty much half the car is newish. I do have a small leak in the oil pan, but I have a brand new one. So this year when we change out the oil, we'll probably do that. Yeah, so I'm just really thankful for a lot of people in my life, especially my neighbors. I ended up slightly repaying them back last year, um, because, because I've known them forever. It's been like 12 years. And, they used to take me to my dentist appointments when my mom couldn't, and they're just so nice and everything. And they're both retired. And I know my neighbor gets really frustrated because he likes gardening so much, and when he can't get around, he gets bored. So my mom had suggested to them that I show them how to play Animal Crossing because I'd just been obsessed when I bought it a day or two after the release. And I was like, oh, how cute would it be for her to play? And then I went, wait, how amazingly adorable would it be for both of my neighbors to play and be able to play together? So I ended up finding 2 Switch Lites and bought 2 copies of Animal Crossing, and it just happened to be a couple days before my neighbor's birthday, and I gave them both Animal Crossing and their Switches. They've been playing all the time since they got it. I think it was about August. Maybe it was, no, it was during the summer, somewhere in there. And over the next few weeks, they would tell me, oh, look what I caught, and show me things, and they're still playing. I added them on my Nintendo Switch friends, and I'll see them on about 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, what are you doing? You should be in bed. But sometimes when they can't sleep, they just get online and they play. They're having fun with the snowmen. A little hard time, I think, getting the perfect ones, but I like messing around with them, so they're really fun. I like making snowmen with really big bodies and super tiny heads. They just make me laugh when they're really snarky. Yeah, so I think that's about it. I hope everybody's doing well. And if any of you have really great neighbors like I do, I'm sorry they're probably not as good, but if anybody has really great neighbors, tell me some good neighbor stories. Stay positive, and I will see you tomorrow.